Welcome to the Cryptonaut Podcast. My name is Mark Storrs, and I am joined by Mr. Christopher Carnicelli.
Yepper.
And Robert Thomas Morphy II.
Delivering the goods.
All right, settle
Twice
down.
as nice. Rob, too.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
We're here, boys. We're back. We're doing it.
I know. It's always fun. It's always exciting. A highlight of this motherfucking week. Spend it with you cats, talking about crazy shit, knowing that we're actually talking to many, many friends out there, some of whom we have yet to meet, hopefully all of whom we'll eventually cross paths with in some capacity. And yeah, it's a joy.
It's a lot of people to meet. It is great to see you guys.
Well, I mean, maybe not full dinners, but handshake, hug.
Well, I mean, if they ask us out to full dinners and it's on them,
Well, yeah,
man.
that goes without saying.
Dude, you're talking Chris out of full dinners, dude.
Fuck, yeah.
I mean, yeah, if they're paying for the extra guac, shit, I'm not going to
I
say
mean, look,
no.
I like Golden Corral. I'm down.
All you can,
I'm
whenever
down.
you could.
All you shouldn't eat.
Yeah. No, really.
Fuck.
I have heard reports that our local Golden Corral in Syracuse has been hit hard by the COVID and has gone downhill. The chocolate fountain's been taken out of commission. Not that I'm a fan of it. My daughter was.
The chocolate fountain fucking chocolatier has fucking been stricken.
Dude,
stricken.
COVID fucking took out Golden Corral, dog. Wow. I don't know what's going to happen
It'll
next.
run through the senior citizens fast.
Dude,
they're going to lose their clientele.
It's too bad, man. I happily waited for an hour and a half in that line when they first opened. That's fine.
That's a long time.
No.
Like, there's very few things I'll wait an hour and a half for nowadays.
But you know
very few.
You know what? We're not going to
Golden
wait.
Corral's not one.
We're not going to wait. We're not going to wait for Patreon.
No. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, master of
Shoehorn.
segues.
No, master of the shoehorn, Mark Storrs.
All right, fine. You were the one talking Golden Corral, man. You started that rodeo.
I just do. That's what I do.
All right.
You know what I do? I start the rodeo and I end it.
There it is. Beginning with Justin.
Thank you, Justin.
Candace Kruger.
Hell yeah, Candace.
Chris's Sonata Arctica beanie.
We've been sitting on this for a while, and every time I read it, I giggle. It's Chris's Sonata Arctica's beanie.
yeah,
It's great.
I mean,
You've had to have forever. I
He
fucking
has.
love it.
I have had it
It
for
is
a
a
long
staple
time.
of you.
It's funny. When I first read it, I'm like, okay, it's a selection of words with a band. And then all of a sudden it occurred to me, yeah, no, it's fucking Chris's like permanent
Actual
fixture all
beanie.
winter long.
Yes,
It really is.
Yeah. I love it. It's a beautiful hat.
it is.
Xaviard Huggleskin.
Hell yeah, Xaviard. Thank you.
Alexandra Santiago.
Yes, Alexandra. Thank you so much.
Darth Sevenfold.
Word, Darth. What up?
Kieran.
Hey, hello, Kieran.
Jenna B.
Jenna B.
Alexander Price.
Hell yeah, Alexandra.
Curtis F. Weber.
Mr. Weber.
Ryan Morris.
Hell yeah, Ryan.
Adam Masadi.
Thank you, Adam.
Jackson Wood.
What up, Jackson?
Fucking definitely a 70s rock star. Totally a porn star.
Totally.
Jaden Barnett.
Hell yeah, Jaden.
And we're going to round this out with Elizabeth.
Awesome.
Oh, the queen.
Dude, God save
Yeah,
her. There
no,
she
she's
is.
been here a few times.
Yeah.
She's clearly, like her acolytes are unfollowing us, like her footmen. I don't know what queens have anymore. I never really did. But she keeps coming back because she's into us.
Dude, I love it. I love it. Thank y'all.
We're a constant jubilee.
Thank y'all for continued Patreon support. Before we get started with the episode, make a quick announcement here. I made a little bit of an appearance on another podcast. Our good buddy, Mr. Todd Purse, Create Magic podcast.
Hot damn.
It will be on his Patreon by the time this comes out, and then it will get released to the regular feed. And yeah, it was a good time talking with Todd. It's always fun to talk with him. So
it had to be a ball. I'd
Yeah.
love to chat with this
Yeah,
dude someday.
he's
Obviously, he's
awesome.
a massive artistic talent, but I'm sure he's an awesome dude as well.
yeah, so everyone check that out when it comes out. I'll post those links on the social medias. And this week, now this is an interesting one here. We're talking the Dogans, the Puppins, the Pupperinos, dogs versus monsters.
Yeah. I mean, I think this might be the most basic title we've ever had, but it doesn't require anything more.
No, I mean, you
It's
just
simple to the goddamn point egg and
Yeah.
just does it.
Exactly. This is like a Godzilla movie, but it's dogs versus monsters.
Yeah, well, except when the original Japanese titles are like All Out Monster Attack and the Great
Yeah.
Pacific Atoll of 3 or whatever. It's just, they're nuts.
Yeah.
Though I love them.
Sometimes you just got to bring it back down to the basics, man.
Godzilla is wonderful. Dogs versus monsters.
There we go.
is where
Let's
we're
get
at.
started with there are hundreds of cases involving dogs interacting with paranormal phenomenon, growling at hairy wild men, snarling at invisible entities, or even cowering before UFOs. But occasionally canines have encounters that go beyond these brief brushes with the unknown. Sometimes dogs have direct flesh and blood contact with inexplicable entities. In this episode, we're going to explore some of the more intriguing and frankly horrifying reports involving humankind's proverbial best friend and all manner of bizarre beings.
There it is. In a nutshell, you nailed it, buddy.
All right, dogs. We'll see what you're fucking made of.
Man, all right. Yeah, I had asked if any dogs were harmed. Rob wouldn't tell me.
I would
so.
not. I would. Dogs
you know what that
occasionally
means.
get harmed in the real world. Word harmed. I don't know why I'm saying harmed in the real world, and occasionally in the paranormal world also happens. I mean, remember Mothman? Crushed puppets.
Oh,
I mean, if they're going to be defenders of the whatever, then they got to die, Mark.
They are the Secret Service of humanity.
You're like,
you know who occasionally I think about very fondly in my heart of hearts?
Who's that?
Chimney.
oh yeah,
Your
Chimney.
parents' dog,
Yeah,
Chimney.
he was a fun little lad.
What kind of dog was it?
It's Collie.
Collie. And could not master the steps of Chris's parents. And the steps were 3 steps, maybe? 2, right? 2 and then a porch.
2 and then a porch.
And Chimney just couldn't nail it.
You sort of,
And
yeah.
every time we'd be there, Chris was like, all right, Chimney, let's do the challenge.
Chimney was clumsy as fuck.
Yeah, but Chimney was goddamn adorable. And R.I.P. to
Indubitably.
Chimney.
All right. It's easy to see why people adore dogs. There are few things in this world more loving, more loyal, more fiercely defensive of the people it holds dear than Canis familiaris. Once a dog adopts you into its pack, it comes not only with the perks of unconditional affection, but the promise that it will put itself in harm's way and get your back regardless of the situation. We should be so lucky if we have even one fellow human about whom we could say the same. So, that's not an indictment on humans. I'm just saying dogs are super loyal. Still a cat guy, but I can appreciate what dogs do.
I love dogs.
Whether as pets, protectors, hunting partners, or all of the above, human beings have managed to forge a unique and, in most cases, wonderfully interdependent relationship with this once purely predatory species. Over the millennia, the lives of canines and humans have become so inextricably intertwined that it is difficult to imagine that once upon a time, wolves and wild dogs were almost exclusively a thing of terror. Ravenous beasts that stalk the night in packs, preying on the most vulnerable of us. Centuries of sharing shelter, food, and friendship have changed all that. Because of this special relationship, dogs and humans have a tendency to be in the same company, or at least general proximity, in all kinds of life circumstances. One of which is, of course, encounters with the paranormal. It's going to be pups. With their incredibly heightened senses, dogs can sense many facets of our shared world that would be undetectable to us. As such, it has long been hypothesized that canines are capable of perceiving paranatural phenomenon that human beings would be utterly oblivious to. This awareness of things imperceptible can be manifested as little more than a slight tilt of the head followed by a low guttural growl directed at what you or I might see as nothing more than an empty chair in the corner of a room, or worse yet, an ominously yawning closet door. Often these events are short and subtle, if a bit unnerving. But there is another category of encounter that is anything but. It is these oft-times harrowing supernatural skirmishes we'll be dealing with today. Because the amount of cases involving dogs and paranormal beings is fucking staggering, I've been forced to limit the scope of this episode, and not surprisingly, for our first delve into this fascinating subject, I chose monsters.
Of
That's
course.
just the deal. That's
Yeah.
us. We're definitely going to do a dog versus aliens at some point, maybe even a dogs versus ghost at some point. We'll see how deep we go.
Dude, I got some
Dogs
fucking-
fight all this shit.
Dude, dogs v ghosts, dude.
Yeah, it might be a trilogy, and there might be part 2. Who the fuck knows? There's
Anything's
many
possible.
cases.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
pretty
The
open.
Lord of the Rings, watch out.
Oh my
We're
God,
coming for you.
We're just going to do it again.
That's right.
All right, enough preamble.
What the fuck does that mean?
Don't worry.
Our first case comes
I'm
to
worried.
us from Charles Bowen's inestimable Flying Saucer Review, which, while primarily focused on the phenomenon of UFOs and, of course, the things piloting them, also covered anomalous entities that were sent their way. So they were just a catch-all for weird shit, like so many of these zines were, these well-organized, highly researched zines, like FSR became. So, while the issue number was not listed, the report, passed on by the equally inestimable Albert Rosales, in his humanoid reports, of course, claimed that the source was UFO investigator and abductee Russell Kellett, who claimed that on a night in 1978, a woman named Rita was walking her dog in Utley, Yorkshire, England, when she and her faithful companion stumbled across the unthinkable. According to the report, the woman was on a sidewalk between a local beauty salon that she had patronized for many years and a large truck that was stacked high with lumber, when her usually docile dog became extremely agitated, snarling, jumping up and down, and fiercely barking. Then, just as suddenly as the commotion began, the pooch fell silent and froze where it stood, just staring at the parked truck. At first, all the woman noticed was some vague motion behind the truck. Then something seemed to be coming over the huge stack of logs. It would be at that moment when Rita's once prosaic notion of reality would be shattered. There it is. That was Rita's notion of reality getting shattered. Without warning, a colossal humanoid figure, clad in what appeared to be scuba gear, stood up behind the truck and stared down at the horrified Rita and her equally petrified pet.
This is a fucking Scooby-Doo character.
Yeah,
all of a
Scooby-Doo.
sudden.
There was always that Scooby-Doo-ass scuba dude, that frogman or whatever
Yeah.
it was.
They're always,
in the opening credits. I think it was, or maybe it was Weird Androids. Now it's all fucking, I don't know.
I think
conflating.
I'm pretty sure I have the pop. I'm almost positive I do.
Oh my God, it's funny. So it's a giant scuba man.
All right, cool.
All right. The mastodonic monstrosity towered over the log pile, but made no aggressive moves, simply watching the woman through its visor-like aperture. Regardless of its apparent lack of violent intent, Rita wasted no time in scooping up her pooch and running for home, telling Russell Kellett that she had been too terrified to look back for fear of seeing the mammoth menace chasing her down. Despite her fears, she arrived home safely and never saw the gargantuan goggle-eyed giant again. And, surprisingly considering the thing's size, nor did anyone else. You think the fucking whole town would be out for this?
I mean,
this is parade worthy.
If it's going over, a truck that's enormous.
It is. It really is enormous.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, giant fucking scuba dude from the negative zone.
It's worth noting, however, that the region is part of the moorland that extends all the way to Ilkley, home of the infamous Ilkley Moor alien, episode 216, which was said to be the reputed haunt of a massive mythical creature, a giant named Rombald. Yeah.
I remember we talked about this. Didn't we talk about this in like
Rombald
a
the
Patreon?
giant?
Didn't we talk about in a Patreon?
We might have. If we did, this to me is the first time I encountered it in my mind. Usually I remember this shit, but I don't, I guess, remember every giant we ever talked about.
Yeah, I mean, we don't generally talk about them by name.
We don't usually name them. Yeah, we don't name giants. There was like those weird kaiju-like things that were on a different moor, and there was a serial killer and a satanic cult.
Yeah,
you remember that whole
I thought maybe
cluster monkey. I don't even remember the name of that.
I might be getting it confused with that, but I do remember.
Maybe.
That
We did go over like a mythical list once when Kristen, I think, did the pod.
Oh, yeah.
Remember there was a bunch of weird...
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
that's what
Maybe that's all the weird
yeah.
creatures, and they all had a name. Maybe that.
True. What up, Rumbald?
Anyway,
right?
Rumbald.
Rumbald.
R-O-M.
Rumbald.
B-A-L-D.
Rumbald.
Rom. Like the fucking robot.
Ram.
I'm saying
of
Rum.
Toy Yor and fucking
Rambald.
Marvel Comics. Jesus, criminals.
Rambone?
You're going to piss off the ball.
Rambone.
Yeah,
That's
right.
got to be a porn, right?
Hambone. Perhaps for a brief moment in the late 70s, this colossus returned to its old stomping grounds to find that the world was a very different place from the one that he knew. Disco alone. I mean, trucks and buildings, okay, that's probably something.
He might be tapping his foot to I Was Made for Loving You. Just,
what if he was just like going for a swim, but like his time span is different? And yes, I Was Made for Loving You. Yes, it was. He was listening to Kiss's greatest hits, and just came out and it's like, what the fuck is going on with my city?
dude, times change, man. Rumbald, you gotta catch up, dude. You can't just be living old man fucking giant guy here.
Here is a case where a dog is a warning mechanism. This thing is a fucking ginormous thing.
Clearly,
I don't know how big is a stack of logs on a truck?
Got me.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to picture it when you're reading it. I'm like,
feet. Like I've seen lumber trucks and like episodes of Twin Peaks, and they're stacked up in like pyramidal shapes, and it seems like 20 something feet, from tire to fucking tip, maybe 25.
Yeah, I guess if it's a full
fucking
stack,
know.
I don't know.
Either way,
I
something that towers over it is tall.
And the dog,
too tall to be a normal person.
And the dog obviously perceived it before the woman could sense something was going down.
Well, that's how dogs do.
Rambald.
They're all about being perception.
Yeah, or smelled it, maybe.
Oh, maybe
the fuck is that?
Stank, dude.
I mean, they smell.
Stinky giants.
They're
Pretty good.
stinky.
Yeah.
Dogs are stinky and
don't know if
needy, but
Rombald
they
was
will smell a
stinky.
giant long before you do.
I'm going to assume that Rambaldo is stinky.
Well, he thinks you're fucking stinky.
All right, calm down, apologist here. It's okay.
Rombald hates Mark.
All right, fine. I hate him too. Fuck him. How about that? Come at me, Rombald.
He'll
See
be
me in the
here
comments.
long after you're gone.
Oh, see me in the comments.
He's the first and the last. No, sorry.
Our second encounter,
Chris had a whole thing before the pod that it was amazing.
first,
Anyway,
last, tertiary.
Second encounter.
Fair enough. Hails from Japan. In his August 24th, 2018 article, Encounters with Bizarre Humanoids in Japan, author and resident of said island nation, Brent Swanser, regales us with a truly unsettling run-in between an unnamed woman, her dog, and something that seemed to have crawled directly out of a nightmare. According to the report, on a night sometime in 2016, a woman living on the outskirts of Kyoto was startled when she heard her usually quiet pup begin barking wildly. The woman leapt up to see what was going on, and when she looked outside, she was shocked to see her dog, quote, cowering against a fence, smashing up against it as hard as it could, as if trying to push itself through the barrier and away from something there in the yard with it, end quote. Confused, the woman scanned her yard, trying to find out what it was that could possibly be so alarming to her normally confident canine. And then she saw it, and her blood ran cold. Hunched over her dog's food bowl was a sinewy, gray-skinned, semi-humanoid creature that was gorging itself on the contents. Motherfucker loves Elpo.
Eating the goddamn dog food?
Gravy train is the way to go.
Was it soft or hard dog food?
I don't know. It would make a difference.
So
I
this
would think.
dog clearly might not be food aggressive. As if it was. Just in the fucking
Well, no,
trend.
this dog is probably, once you find out what this thing is eating its food, you'll be like, this.
Gotcha.
It doesn't matter how food aggressive this dog is.
Gotcha.
It was chowing down, oblivious to the nearby dog's barks, whines, and yelps. The woman later described the thin, hairless being as resembling a humanoid greyhound, quote unquote, with long, slender arms that terminated in tiny clawed hands.
Oh, it's got little
Tiny baby hands.
stupid hands. I
Like
hate
when
it
you see
already.
a big old greyhound skinny humanoid,
It's just like
Yeah.
this.
you're not expecting the tiny clawed
I just
hands.
want to punch it. I want to punch it so bad. It's so
Yeah.
dumb.
And a lot of people are going to think pale crawlers. And yes, I know I say this often. There is an episode coming up. I've collected a lot of notes on it. This is not that.
Okay.
This is something akin, but not that.
All right.
The witness stared at the pallid thing in what must have been abject horror, when the creature, whose face had been buried in the food bowl, suddenly seemed to sense that someone was watching it. Without warning, it whipped its head up, staring directly at the stunned woman with huge yellow eyes that consumed most of its small triangular face and seemed to be emitting a faint glow.
This thing's all wrong.
Tiny little eyes, or
All
big
wrong.
eyes, tiny little triangle face, tiny little hands.
All wrong.
The observer noted that the impossibly thin thing had tiny, pointed ears. She described what happened next, quote, as it licked its lips, I could see that it had sharp, jagged teeth. It looked at me for a second with a sort of startled expression, and then it leapt right over the fence in a single bound,
Oh,
end quote.
it can move.
All right.
It
Gymnast.
can move.
Quick.
Gymnast.
I mean, the shitty teeth
Clearly.
maxes it out. Maxes out
gymnast.
the horror.
Yeah.
Tiny triangle face, big yellow eyes, shitty gnarled teeth, tiny little clawed hands.
It's like a weird Gollum type thing.
Very
Yeah,
much so.
Kind of is. Yeah.
Or like a twisted, elongated Hopkinsville goblin with tiny ears and a long body.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's also like tons of Japanese folklore is filled with quasi-humanoid entities that pose a potential danger to their human and animal counterparts. But rarely are things of this nature seen at such a close range and in the 21st century. Of course, we could also be dealing with something else altogether. So, I mean, I want to go yokai. I want to go like traditional Japanese.
yokai.
You know, my kappas. Giving shout outs to all my like weird umbrellas with eyes and feet or whatever. But yeah, no, I mean, obviously some of it is based on probably corporeal things.
Right.
Again, this is the monster one, not the alien one. That's coming down the pike. But extraterrestrial could still be
It could fit. Totally.
an answer
Yeah.
here.
For sure.
And I guess in the previous one too, though, I mean, a giant ship and a giant person would probably be a tell sign that something's going on.
That's a big ship to hang out of it to hold that dude.
But yeah, that's just fucking weird.
Yeah. All right.
Now, you guys ready? You guys ready for the one?
Here we go.
Gonna fuck you up a little?
I'm ready.
I'm in.
Our next and final account comes to us from the periodical quote, selected for abduction, Gray Barker's 1981 UFO Annual, which I heard about on the Beyond Creepy page. I actually was going to buy this, but fucking it wouldn't come in until this Wednesday, and that would be like 2 days too late to make a fucking difference. So, anyway, Gray Barker, we all know. Vegetable Man, fucking crazy shit.
He's our dude.
He's our dude. In the section of the annual labeled Part 4, Occupants and Critters, which I love.
It's a great chapter.
Is a report titled Littlefoot UFO Creature Mangled by Dog.
Yes, the dogs fight back.
Okay.
Yes.
Despite the often controversial, as aforementioned, Barker's confident assertion that the creature in question hails from a UFO, there's precious little to indicate that this entity was of extraterrestrial extraction. But there can be little doubt that what we're dealing with is a monster. According to Barker's report, a farmer from Mount Airy, a small community located in Surry County, North Carolina, was milking his cows when his reality was turned upside down. The incident in question occurred sometime in the first week of February 1981. The farmer, who chose to remain anonymous, was having a particularly hectic day on the farm, so it was deep into the night by the time he settled down to milk the cows beneath the light of the barn, accompanied, as usual, by his faithful canine companion with whom he apparently lived alone. So, the way the story is told, it doesn't specifically state that the farmer doesn't have a family, but it makes pretty good indication that he doesn't.
It's a man and his dog.
Yeah, on a farm.
I love that dog.
With some cows.
Here you go.
The pair were finishing their chores, enjoying the peaceful eve, when the silence of the night was suddenly shattered by the dog violently barking at something out in an adjacent field. The farmer strained his eyes, but could see nothing in the pervasive blackness. Before he could corral his caterwauling canine, the agitated dog took off into the darkness. The farmer was shocked by this behavior, as his well-trained hunting dog rarely left his side. Knowing full well that this escape would only further extend what was already a long day, the farmer followed his dog into the field, leaving behind the comfortable confines of the world as he knew it to enter the incomprehensible realm of high strangeness.
Oh, he's following the dog into the weird shit. I like it.
All right.
Very cool.
The farmer grabbed his flashlight and followed his dog across the field, but as he ascended a rise toward a wooded area atop a hill, he was startled by the sounds of a commotion not far ahead. He could tell by the ferocious snarls that his precious pooch was engaged in a heated battle. Picking up the pace, he finally laid eyes on his dog, savagely tearing into something that he could not quite identify. As soon as the obedient pup saw its master, it stopped its brutal onslaught and retreated a few steps back, allowing the farmer his first good look at what he had been attacking. Keeping a steady pace, the avid outdoorsman could, at first, make out only a mangled pile of torn flesh. But within seconds, his breath got caught in his throat, as he realized he was looking at something that was quite unlike anything he had ever seen before in his life. Under the flashlight's harsh gaze, the farmer could make out a distinctly humanoid, but decidedly not human, pale-skinned entity with a large head, huge eyes, no apparent nose or mouth, and small webbed hands.
Dude.
Tiny hands again.
Did it kill the
webbed.
Dover? Did it kill the Dover
It's
demon?
like the Dover demon.
I know, right?
Fucked a Loveland frog, man.
and the dog killed it.
And the dog killed it. Like the
Gotcha.
love baby of the two greatest cryptids.
killed by a dog
Of the
on a man's
Northeast.
farm. Oh man, yeah, this could be problematic. This could be like, we want to talk. Don't bring this up.
This will be problematic.
Oh no.
The thing suddenly moved.
Oh shit.
Despite the mutilated condition of its body, this thing, whatever it was still alive.
It's like E.T. Like,
yeah, like the pale, fucked up in the creek ET
that's
that
right.
made every 9-year-old
Fucking hated
cry.
that.
white dog shit E.T.
Yeah, really though. Oh my God. At this point, the seasoned hunter noted that even though its arms, legs, and torso had been shredded by his dog's vicious assault, there were no signs of blood or any other bodily fluids coming from its hairless body. For a long time, the farmer could only stare in disbelief at this anthropological oddity. Then, a surge of fear began rippling through his body. He began to wonder if, as improbable as it seemed, his dog had maimed a deformed human being.
Oh no, dude!
Which is kind of like what they thought about the
Dover Demon,
too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you're like, oh shit, this could be.
And if it wasn't human, then what could it be? And perhaps most alarmingly, was it alone? His gut was screaming for him to leave, and unable to make the terror gnawing within him subside, the farmer did what few other seemingly rational eyewitnesses ever think to do. He trusted his inner voice, and he left. Not just the scene of the slaughter, but the farm altogether.
He just moved away. He's just like,
it doesn't move.
I mean, sometimes things happen where you're like, I can no longer live here. I have to go with my dog.
Can you imagine something that's just so fucking debilitating and like your view of reality? You're like,
I got started life.
Yeah, I got. It's 1981. There's no internet. No one can track you. You're Earl here. You're fucking Carl there. Who fuck cares?
Not to be cold-hearted about this, but you could also put this thing out of its misery and just bury it. You could just take a tire iron to it and then dig a hole and put it in there and be like, nothing ever happened. See you later.
Yeah, you
there
could.
You go. Maybe give it.
Yeah, that's how curses and
that's
how your family for generations get fucked because you did a dumb thing.
Oh,
also,
your fields go foul.
What seems like,
no corn for you.
Oh no, we're back to the corn.
Corn
free
in 23.
Dude,
it would have been 83, but still.
Farmer's curse.
The farmer's curse. But honestly, no.
Yeah.
What is a mercy killing on one side of the coin
right.
is a murder on the other. Like if you had a loved one laying in the street all fucked up and maybe he was going to die, but there's some hope for it maybe, and somebody comes around and starts bashing that person in the head that you love because they think fucking it's a mercy, you will fucking haunt that motherfucker.
Okay, well, I mean, all right, different situation.
So he didn't do that.
Different
well,
situation.
Yeah, because this could be an animal of unknown origin.
It's clearly not someone that we know.
No,
it's just a fucking thing.
But I'm saying that it might have
we don't
things,
know it.
but there might be things just beyond the wood line that know it. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you mean like if it had a crew, like its family, it watched its father get ripped asunder by a dog.
Nothing is alone. Nothing can live in a vacuum.
Yeah, I mean,
beats it with a shovel.
The
and buries
odds of it being the only one of it ever
it's nil.
Probably low.
Dude, then they come back for revenge.
Yeah, either they like assemble an army behind the veil, or they come from the swamp, or fucking whatever is their origin.
Man, yeah,
and vengeance is nigh.
Oh man, all right. Well, then you gotta
water graze.
You're going. You gotta go to war with the whole group of them.
Yeah,
it's a war. Bitch.
So he's scared. Plus, it also might be, Randy, the deformed kid down the street that he didn't know about, and now his dog's a murderer.
Let's not go.
I mean, but it's probably not because it doesn't have a nose or mouth.
Okay, well,
that he could see.
Yeah.
See, exactly.
Right.
This could be a murder. Fuck.
God.
A child's dead. Shit.
A child is not dead.
We don't know. All right. Well, regardless, he left the farm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Smart move.
Without delay, the farmer climbed into his vehicle, drove into town, and checked into the motel that had the most cars. Something inside of him told him that he should not be alone that night, and he took comfort knowing that he had people all around him, separated only by the paper-thin walls of the motel. He would never know if this flash of intuition was good instincts, a psychic flash, or a warning from points unknown. But whatever it was that made him leave his farm in such a hurry likely saved his life. The next day, the farmer jumped back into his truck and drove back to his home. He was still anxious about the events of the previous night, but likely felt more confident in dealing with the situation under the bright light of the sun. On his way to the farm, he decided that if the creature was still there, alive or dead, human or not, he would call the police and take responsibility for the crime.
I mean, that's a solid move,
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if it was a mistake or whatever, your dog accidentally kills somebody, you obviously got to fucking fess up to it.
Sure.
You have to, or just bury it and don't talk about it. But whatever.
That also is the problem of the cursed corn.
You want that curse, don't you?
Hey, we don't even know if it's a curse.
You don't even like corn, do you? You don't even like corn.
I had some corn today, actually, with my pulled pork for dinner.
When you've been sad, if it was a corn-free dinner because of the curse.
Yeah. You don't even care.
If it was that garbage.
Do you want popped French greens? What do you fucking want out of life?
All right, man.
Generations of famine because of you.
I'm sorry, you're right. I'm the problem. I apologize to generations of cornless children.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Sorry.
Once he arrived, the farmer exited his vehicle and cautiously walked across the field and up the hill towards where the creature lay dying the night before. But it was gone. There were still signs of a struggle, but whatever the thing was, it had either managed to crawl away or its cohorts had retrieved it. Likely relieved and unnerved at the same time, the farmer called for his dog. There was no response.
Oh, no.
This disturbed the farmer. He knew that his hunting companion and best friend always came bounding over when it was called. Trying not to think the worst, the farmer continued to call for his loyal dog, to no avail. As he made his way back to his homestead, the farmer caught sight of what he feared most. His young, healthy pup lay dead on the lawn.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah. Realizing it may not be the only victim, the distraught farmer decided to check on his other animals. He ran to the barn only to discover that 2 of his cows were missing. The farmer searched his property, but there was no sign of them. They had simply vanished. Terrified that his dog might have inadvertently triggered a bloodthirsty rampage by unknown entities, ones that might not just target his farm, but those of his neighbors, and that they might not stop with abducting and killing animals, but actually attack humans, even children, the farmer wrote an anonymous letter to the local, unfortunately fucking unnamed newspaper describing what had happened. He also provided a drawing of the creature, which again, I frustratingly could not turn up. Though he refused to confide his identity, the farmer swore that if others came forward to corroborate his story with sightings of their own, he would reveal himself. This, unsurprisingly, never occurred.
Yeah.
The fate of the farmer and his livestock remain unknown, but the mystery of what took place on that lonely country hill in rural North Carolina endures to this day.
God
And
damn.
here we have at least the first installment of dogs and various levels of reaction to the unknown.
All right, man. If this
Monsters.
thing kills your dog
Well-
and takes your cows, what's your next course of
I
action?
leave. Like, the motel's not far enough.
I'm attached to my dog.
Like, there's every reason to think that if it's willing to kill your dog and steal 2 of your cows, and maybe that considers their species considers that a commensurate recompense for the death of one of their own.
Oh, like an eye for an eye?
Well, yeah, you killed one of my children, and in fucking Dover frog fucking culture, I get your dog that did the. You killed the creature that killed the thing, but I steal 2 of your cows.
Yeah, that's like some biblical math.
It really
It's
does seem like the Old Testament.
yeah. I think it's probably a call to war, but that's just me.
And it could get worse. That's the other thing too, because you stood there, you didn't try to help the thing. Not that, how do
What are you gonna do?
How do
Give
you
it
help
mouth to
something
mouth?
that can't bleed, that doesn't have a mouth? I mean, I understand. And is there
Stand
a
your
chance?
farm, dude.
Maybe this thing was like, maybe it was a kind creature. Maybe it was giving him a psychic warning, like that urge to leave immediately. Like, don't fucking pass go.
Right.
Don't collect 200. Fucking scoop. Maybe this thing was like, oh shit, my family is going to be pissed, or my superiors, or whatever. Fucking, you got to go. Just fucking go. Don't worry. Just go. Just go. And he knew cows were in jeopardy, and he knew that fucking dog was a fucking goner. And the dog kind of needed to die. If the dog killed something intelligent enough to, if it was intelligent, but if it was intelligent enough to require a reprisal from either it, if it somehow managed to fucking survive, or its cohorts, then you have to kill the offending thing. If a dog savaged a human being like that, they would be put down.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I can.
I don't mean I
see that.
wanted to see dogs die. I'm just saying.
I was gonna say,
No,
you
right.
better
No,
clarify
I'm not
your
being,
stance here.
No, dude, no. You know, honestly, I mean, I make jokes. I'm a cat person. I love dogs.
No, so if the dog yes attacks a human being, then they clearly to that level they need to be
to the
put
level
down.
of death,
Yeah.
essentially.
I mean, then again, man, this thing, if it's not human,
It might have healed. Like, there's no reason to assume that maybe its bloodless, unraveled flesh
I don't know,
can
man.
fucking refuse, and it crawled back to wherever it came from. And
I mean, I'm still
maybe the dog was trying to kill it more, and it just had to fucking do it. And that the only thing that could give it the energy to survive was literally sucking 2 cows dry.
I mean, whatever this
milk,
thing,
blood, bone marrow, everything. And then it went home, and then it said, "No war. I ate 2 cows. I killed the dog."
No war.
I
There's
don't know,
no
man.
reason
I think
to
it's
fully attack this world.
This might be a reason to go to war with
Either
these
that
things.
or their time level, again, is so different from ours that it's been like 3 days for them and it's been like fucking 40 years for us, and they're like still
I'm
amassing
kind
the
of
army.
shocked that the guy didn't actually go after him.
Well,
mean,
because
that-
of his
but-
beloved dog, who
But
he
that's
lived
your
alone
only.
with.
If that's your only companion, you kill my dog, I will fucking destroy you, your entire family, your lineage.
Where are you going to start searching except for the woods?
The
That's,
woods.
yeah, that's all
Every
you could-
single day,
yeah.
just waiting for this thing to come back.
And you know
or-
what?
And as
Honestly,
psychotic as I would be, probably.
we don't know
Yeah.
that didn't happen. So, all right, I kind of dig what Mark's saying here. All
I don't.
evidence is he didn't pack up, Myrtle and the kids and go to the hotel. He just left for a hotel.
Yeah.
Right.
Indicating either A, he gives zero fucks about his family, or B, he's living there alone with
Yeah.
his dog.
Which he's
is the
probably going
assumption
to
I made.
assume he's living alone and just has his dog. And that's
So
your only
if it's your
companion,
best
dude.
friend, it's your most loyal friend. He's
Yeah.
going around the fucking farming grounds with you. You hunt with him, you fish with him, you fucking live with him.
Right.
I see completely your point. This is your one tether to affection in this
Yeah,
reality.
dude.
Even if, and he attacked a creature that was trespassing, that might have been dangerous, that might have been something that could possibly hurt, his best friend, which is the farmer.
Yeah.
So I definitely could see it doesn't say a word because all he did was write an anonymous letter to a fucking newspaper
So-
that got passed on to Gray Barker,
Yeah.
yada, yada, yada.
So that's kind of,
But he probably did go on this vengeance drive.
I'm sure. That's probably, okay, so not probably. That's a really weird, so he writes this anonymous letter to a paper. Now, being as small as this town is,
Sure.
they've got to take notice of an abandoned farm.
Well, it's not abandoned necessarily. There's no indication he permanently left. He went for one night.
Yeah, he just didn't go back that night.
Yeah.
He didn't
Okay,
go
so
back
No, it's
that
not
night.
a Lutz family scenario where it's like, peace.
So he wrote the
outta
letter.
here.
Okay, I thought after he wrote that letter that he was gone. All right, so
That
this
would've made
guy's
sense.
local, and he's just like, hey, look, this is what happened.
We think. I don't know. There's no records.
Yes, no, he
Maybe
could have left.
Yeah.
Right.
He could have stayed.
Okay.
He could have been like Charles Bronson in Death Wish, scoping out the woods, trying
Yeah.
to kill everything that was anomalous. He could have just been hiding in his house, going slowly insane like an H.P. Lovecraft character, writing shit on the walls, going, they're coming anytime. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe he got another puppy and just got on with his life. We don't fucking know.
Yeah, wow.
Probably the latter. He's
Yeah.
a fucking farmer. He's still got a farm.
Yeah, no, and I assumed wrongly that he just left altogether. All right, man. So I guess if he writes the letter, he's just trying to connect with people to be like, hey, has anybody's experienced this? Maybe we could fucking
More than that, I think he's
you
trying
know.
to warn.
Yeah, probably.
He's trying to be
Probably.
like, this is, yes, and I can see not wanting to come forward. If he's, the greatest indication that he's planning on staying in the community is, to me, his anonymity.
Right.
If he didn't give fucks and he was going to leave, he'd be like, I'm whomever I am.
Yeah.
The shit happened on my farm. Be cautious because there's shit out there and we don't know where it comes from and we don't know what its agenda is. But
Right.
I'm missing 2 cows and my dog is dead as shit. But he
brutal.
said all those things, but under the fucking cloak of anonymity, which means I think he was planning on staying in that community because if
yeah.
you're staying in that community, especially even today, it's a raft of shit. In 1981, it is 3 yachts full of feces. You never end. You never
Yeah.
stop being that guy. It's
no,
just a
that's
nightmare.
gonna be your bag the rest of your life is being that dude. So I get it. I understand the whole anonymous nature of it. That definitely makes sense. And I guess if there was never any reports of anything else happening, then it was just like an isolated incident that happened on this guy's farm.
I
I mean, the
yeah,
fuck kind of
maybe, yeah.
state does that leave that dude in for the rest of his life?
But then again, I'm like, if you're just gonna write a
gonna
letter
be-
to the newspaper and just completely not have your name and just
Right.
Like, I mean, they really think they're gonna print this.
They did, apparently, with his sketch.
I mean, it's got to be there somewhere. It's got to be in.
Oh,
I mean,
no, someone can find it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I am not an ace researcher. I'm pretty darn good, but fucking, this is, as always, I'm just throwing this together, trying to come up with something cool. I find the fucking thing with Gray Barker. I hope it's in there. I can't order it in time to get it. And fucking, I don't know what
if
newspaper to
this
look
is-
at. So
if
I was already a half hour late.
Yeah,
Shit,
yeah.
what more can I do?
if this was in a newspaper like that, that would be like way back when you got to do that. Was a microfiche or whatever?
Sure.
You got to go through all that bullshit. With
Yeah, it
the
might not be online, but
machines.
it might be online.
It could be. I mean,
Mount
That's
Airy,
true.
how many papers can they have?
Right.
You have to assume it's a Mount Airy paper, though it might have been a further away one, but why would you do that?
if they
Right.
kept our proper archives.
If they and then we
'Cause-
know, because you and I both work for news.
Yes,
You were the computer guy. I was a fucking ace
and-
reporter,
and
quote unquote.
Shit wasn't
And
necessarily.
shit was not
always
well
properly
coordinated.
archived.
No.
It was like a month. Fuck it. Who cares? Get rid of it.
Fuck
no,
that month.
no one gives a shit about
Yeah.
August 27th of fucking 2003. Fuck it.
Yeah, it can be a
so-
shit show at local papers.
Yeah, for sure, especially back in the day. So,
Yeah.
whew, man, that is. I'm just really more trying to come at it from the angle of like, okay, this guy's still there. This happened to him. What the fuck is the rest of this guy's existence like? Like, you're on a farm where your dog mangled this weird thing. All of a sudden, there's some vengeance thing. It comes back that they take 2 of your cows and you're just there.
What would haunt me
Like,
more?
that is fucking. You're either gonna get armed to the fucking tits and be super fucking paranoid,
You
or you're
have
just
to
gonna
be to a degree.
You're gonna be stuck in your fucking house.
I mean, what happened to the people at the Kelly Hopkinsville farm? Like,
Right.
it wasn't the same. Eventually, they sold it and moved away and all
Yeah.
that. But I mean, you can't. The next night is not like, well, shit, that happened that night. I guess it'll be famous someday. Woo! Who gives a fuck? No, you're always going to be looking over your shoulder. You're going to be looking out a window.
Dude, you're on
gonna be-
edge.
yeah, of course,
For
And
sure.
if you're living alone and you've lost that creature that would literally die to defend you,
Yeah.
it's got to be terrifying. So it had to be tough. And did he stay that night, the next night? It doesn't say he went to the motel the next night, but then again,
No.
of course, we don't know.
Dude, you just gotta get some puppies and post up.
Or was
and just
a
wait.
farmer found dead because the dog wasn't mangled? It was just a formerly healthy dog dead on
Which
the
is
ground.
weird. Yeah, it just kind of like just dies.
Like a
Like it just-
fucking take your life ray, or who the fuck knows what they use.
or like the Flatwoods Monster Protocol with the weird gas there. The dog
Yes.
just-
Well, wait a minute. If there's
dies.
something in the alien that was not
poisonous
supposed to
or
be-
noxious.
Yeah, right.
It could have
Oh,
just killed him
shit.
by default and not even
Fucking
intentionally.
Chris, man.
Doesn't
Comes
explain
out
the
of
cows, though.
nowhere.
Doesn't explain the cows.
I mean, it doesn't, but that can be just completely.
But
incidental
yeah, I
somehow.
mean, if your dog eats some dumb shit, and I have rushed my dogs, all of the dogs I've ever owned, to the emergency vet because I'm like, they ate some stupid shit. Like,
yeah.
it's true. Everything that was just said is true. But still going back to your paranoid farmer, fucking Mark,
right?
he doesn't know that.
It's true. He does.
I mean, maybe my dog got poisoned by what it devoured, but maybe not. And me as the owner, me as the guy that was there, me as the guy that looked into my eyes, I looked into its faintly glowing eyes or whatever,
Right.
and fuck,
Yeah.
am I next? And maybe he was.
Hey, pro tip out there for all you dog owners: if your dog does eat something you need to puke up, you can give it peroxide, like a tablespoon. There's
Like
a whole
hydrogen
calculation.
peroxide?
Yeah, to make him puke.
Nice.
Yeah, one Christmas, Thomas, my old dog, my old buddy Tomas, my girlfriend and I came home, and he decided to eat an entire tray of Christmas cookies that were chocolate. And we're like, oh shit, we better make him puke. So he spent the whole night him puking out Christmas balls.
Oh
It was
my
fucking
gosh.
dope. It was super
Christmas balls.
cool. Yeah, it was real. It was a whole tray of Italian cookies.
Oh my
And
God.
it was loaded with chocolate, and he was chock full of them, and he just puked them all over the place. I was like, "Merry Christmas, Santa Claus is coming!" Super dope. Yeah, super
Good times.
excited.
That's
Great
a
oldies.
Christmas miracle
Super
to
dope.
me.
Chris is onto something here, though. I think possibly, maybe because the dog was tearing into this thing. If it had something, I mean,
We don't know what killed the dog.
Yeah,
It might
No,
have been
I mean,
poison.
there's no-
it
but
might have
there
been
was no
inadvertent. It might have been
physical-
inadvertent.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, who knows?
It might have had a heart attack. It might have died of regret. It might have been fucking
What if it was
suicide.
living with somebody else that was
died
near
of
there
regret.
and it escaped and went home? And it's like, yeah, fucking farmer Billy's dog fucked me up, and then that person did it.
Oh, yeah.
there's a second person.
No, I think there's a whole bunch of persons. Why? Because, again, as I said earlier, nothing exists in a vacuum.
Yeah.
There's a population. If it's cryptids, it's a population. If it happens to be aliens, it's a population.
See, you're getting my
If it's
hackles.
a-
You're getting my hackles
If
up.
it's
That's
ethereal
it.
fucks
My
from
truck's
beyond
getting
the
bigger.
veil,
My truck's getting bigger.
there's armies of this thing beyond the
getting
veil.
bigger.
Right. There could be another secret land grab subplot that we don't know about.
Oh, see, and you had to stand your farm and grab that land.
It could be a demon called on by another farmer that didn't like this
and you're
farmer.
fighting the devil.
And the dog killed the demon, saved his owner, and died in the process. Because you kill a demon, you die, I guess. Because demon flesh is poison, like Chris mentioned.
That
Not
definitely-
as specifically.
definitely brought it all back around. Yeah.
Super circle. All right, so let's go back. Let's go back to
I like
fucking
that.
giant
sulfur.
scuba master.
Don't eat sulfur.
What's giant scuba master?
You know,
That's just what do you even say to that?
given the area.
Exactly.
Yeah, given the area.
And only one
if it's-
fucking eyewitness. Now,
Yeah.
granted, it was at night, and
Right.
back in the day, like in '78, I don't know what it was like in fucking Utley, but I do remember. I don't remember '78 very well, but I do remember even in the '80s, the city closed down pretty hard at a certain time. I also remember visiting London back in 1990 for the first time, and being shocked that one of the greatest fucking, metropolises of the world basically shut down at 6 p.m. for the most part. And going, the fuck is going on here?
All right.
So maybe it was a sleepy town and it shut down, and she was walking by between a fucking log jam lorry and fucking her beauty salon, and this fucking super scuba guy pops up, and she's like, well, shit, runs home, and nobody else was outside to see it. But she's tripping balls.
You know?
But the dog barked.
The dog
But
sensed
no one saw
it.
the
Yeah,
dog
but dogs
bark.
bark at squirrels 7 miles away.
Also, she could
It's true,
lie.
they do.
I mean, say
She'd
her
be
dog
lying,
freaked
yeah.
out.
It's true. It's true. And that one's kind of like up there. It's weird, especially the whole scuba suit thing. Like,
It's one of the weirdest ones we've ever covered.
Yeah, I
they
don't know what to
actually,
do with
brevity.
it.
for as short as it is, and this
Yeah.
little, that is fucking bizarre. But now the next one, though, we're talking about this weird gray creature here.
Kyoto, Japan.
That could be some fucking yokai shit, dude.
It could be.
That really could be.
There
Yeah,
are
but, I mean,
definitely small humanoid reports coming
Yeah.
from everywhere, but Japan,
Huge,
things that are very
huge.
similar to the Hopkinsville
Yeah.
goblins, but maybe smaller ears, a little more, I don't know, sinewy.
Yeah.
This is like that, but extremely. It's literally like a cross between a Hopkinsville goblin and a pale crawler.
Yeah.
This thing in Kyoto.
Yeah, with this
And
super
it-
weird. What's kind of funny about that though is like it kind of shows up into the yard and it's eating the dog
The
food.
dog food.
So it's there
not
just-
eating
it's
the dog.
there to eat.
Had it
Yeah.
been eating the dog, the fuck.
Yeah, fucked up.
No, it's
eating the
it
dog food.
smacks of like it might as well be a fucking raccoon.
Yeah.
Like
I
I'm just
was
here to eat the food.
Yeah,
I
some
was just
mangy
thinking
fucking.
that, yeah.
And when you see me, even though I have jagged teeth and big yellow eyes and pointy ears and I'm fucking look like a living nightmare, my first instinct is to look startled, as the woman literally said, and jump the fuck over a fence.
And if it was
Like escape,
Yeah.
which is not the actions of a predator.
and the dog was
No.
right there. So if it wanted to munch on the dog, it could totally have done it.
And I
in a
understand why the
heartbeat.
dog is scared fuckless, trying to literally
Well,
squeeze
yeah.
itself through the fucking fence.
Yeah.
So the dog is terrified, whining and fucking and barking.
And this thing's just fucking
and this thing's
eating.
just mowing on the fucking elbow, and,
Yeah.
and this woman is terrified. And when it everything about this is like literally what happens when a raccoon comes into your yard, except for the description of the fucking creature.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder: is it a mangy local
Oh,
fauna? Because it
miss-
doesn't say
I-
how big it is. No one's saying it's 6 foot tall. It could have
Yeah,
been fucking
yeah.
36 inches
Right.
and just humanoid.
a panda.
Oh no! God damn it! All right, first off, that's China.
Ah, shit.
Secondly, an emaciated, manged up,
Could be an
pointy-eared
escaped
panda.
circus panda.
It could have been. An
Or a
escaped
mutated circus panda puppy fucking goes on the
or
rampage in
some
Japan.
sort of bear, some sort of small bear, as a cub, perhaps.
All right, listen. Let's just go with monkey. It looks like a
Okay.
humanoid.
Okay,
I mean, if it's a
monkey, fine,
mangy,
fine.
skinny, like those wonderful, delightful snow monkeys that hate humans but live in like little fucking
Oh, monkeys hate humans.
heat pools. Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
hate that.
although,
but they hate them even more than
like
usual.
a mangy cub on its hind legs eating would kind of fit that description a little bit.
Yeah, but it's not gonna leap a fence in a single bound. Or
That's
whatever.
why I'm going primate. Mangy primate.
Okay, yeah, no, you're right. You're
like
right.
a
It wouldn't
primate
be able
without
to do
hair
that.
is very humanoid. It can't have ears that look pointed.
Ever seen
it can't have shitty teeth.
A
Who knows what
hairless
its diet
chimp?
is?
Ever seen a hairless chimp?
Yeah, they're a nightmare.
Oh, they're jacked. They're
Well, yeah.
fucking huge.
But still, so imagine like a smaller primate.
yeah,
Maybe got
shit.
its tail bit off by a dog in a former, scuffle over fucking dog food. And it's just there, and its eyes catch the reflection of the light.
Yeah.
Like as terrifying as this is, and as much as I want to go instantly to yokai or fucking all sorts of
It
other
could be
things, I really do think
unidentified,
it might be an indigenous or escaped pet primate, or whatever. It's just a diseased animal.
Yeah.
But then again, it's absolutely hairless, and mange doesn't even make you absolutely hairless.
It's pretty close though. We have one of the foxes at work is in bad shape, and that thing's got mange, and it looks like a chupacabra. Like every morning, dude,
That's their deal.
it will sit in the road, and you will drive by it, and it just like watches you drive. And
Oh,
I'm
my
like,
God.
sorry, like I don't know what
Yeah.
to do with
I
you.
wish there was a wildlife vet around here, but there isn't.
I don't want you to become my friend because I have to bring you home and cuddle you and hug you and you butt me in the face, give me rabies. But have a good day.
Rabies.
You've already gone through your rabies shots. You don't need that again.
Dude, I'll never fucking pick up a kitten again. Because that thing bit the piss out of me and I had to get rabies shots.
You didn't want to cut its head off, and that's to your credit.
Yeah,
So
I did not want to kill the cat.
That
And
is to
the
your
cat has
credit.
been rehomed, and it is a lovely house cat, hopefully not biting people anymore.
there you go.
Yeah.
You're a
there.
saint.
I try. So,
This is either really
know-
one of the creepiest cryptids ever, especially if it happens to be large,
yep,
or just a really fucked up form of wildlife.
for sure.
Giant, we can't speak to.
No.
Now, fucking, Dover frogmen.
We covered that one pretty
covered that
fucking
pretty
extensively. yeah.
Nothing more to really say except
Nah,
that
man,
fucking,
just that sucks.
that farmer's life is fucked.
yeah.
Unless he is literally the most pragmatic, salt of the earth motherfucker, and literally 3 days later, it's like, corn ain't gonna grow itself, and I
Right.
didn't do anything to curse it.
Yeah.
Fucking, I gotta milk these cows, all but 2 of them, and fucking I got to do my shit, and I'll get another dog and I'll train it and I'll live my life because I'm a fucking farmer and I got to live. And you can't let something like that ruin you.
Right.
And I suppose that's one of two ways it goes. If you have a truly anomalous encounter, maybe one of multiple ways. My mind is one of two ways. You either just fucking accept it as part of your life, file it away and move on, or it changes you fundamentally and you're like, I have to pursue this or I have to live in terror of it.
Right.
There's people, people we've talked to, friends of ours, Rob Christopherson, who fucking saw some weird shit on his way to work that would have blown my tits off.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, he went to work, he went home, he fucking does a great UFO podcast. And it didn't either fuck him up. Our Strange Skies, which is phenomenal and absolutely required listening. And in my mind, it's like, oh, he was already into it, but like, how does that like not? I mean, I've never had the
dude.
Like we're
me
all
neither.
fascinated by this shit, but if one of us had one of these things happen, then it means it's for really real, no fucking around. Not just that we're open to the possibility, it's fucking fascinating. I think the world and the universe is a place of infinite possibility and who knows what. I'm wide open to the reality of all of this, but to know for a fucking fact that at least one of these things is dead up real, and I don't mean just like a sea serpent or something, that's just something living in the ocean, like some real fucked up shit.
Right.
And
Game changer,
you're
dude.
this dude, and you lost your best friend, and you lost 2 of your fucking cows, and it was a fucking bloodbath that terrified you. The scariest part of it is that unrelenting horror that makes you leave your home.
Well,
How do you go back to that home with any confidence?
I mean, I don't know.
I do not know.
I wouldn't be able to do it. Well, I mean,
There's no aftermath.
Well,
so it's hard
you're
to
going to
say.
go fucking full on Rambo
I'm
looking
gonna
for this fucker because he killed your best buddy.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely go. I'm going to be quoting Rambo. I'm going to become Rambo.
You're going to John Wick this motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm going to be like, I never left the war. I am the war. You're the war. We're the war.
I'm the corn.
I am
the corpse.
The corn. There you go. Oh, shit. There you have it. Dogs versus monsters. Hey, everybody out there, do me a favor. If you got the puppins, give me an old big hug from your buddy Mark. I'm a big dog guy. My dog, Leo, you all got to finally meet Leo.
Yeah, definitely.
He
spunky.
Yeah, he's a weird little dude.
I liked him a lot.
He's fun. But he's a lot. He's
intense. It's good you have 2 kids.
He's super intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is definitely Nicole's dog. He prefers her over me, which is fine. He's still my dude. We hang out, we do our thing, but he is locked currently in Mortal Kombat with the vole. Because he hangs outside, and I sit there with him. I'm drinking beers, and he's just looking for the vole, and the vole comes out, we'll fuck with him and run, and he just can't. He doesn't know what to do with the vole, which is fine. Like, you don't have to touch it. I mean, leave the vole alone, whatever.
Yeah.
But the dog comes out and runs around, and he just kind
Teacher.
of he fucking leave that vole alone.
Wow.
So he's not. Yeah. Yeah, and obviously the Richard Ramirez of my family, Sparkles Lulu Taco, the cat, is not outside to slaughter all the animals.
Yeah, no, there was never a vole issue when that was happening.
There was never
that vole would have popped
issue,
out once, been
nothing.
cheeky and headless.
Yeah, and then would end up in my
a third of a second.
in my living room.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure,
you know
at
what?
some
Because
point.
that's because Sparkles Lulu Taco, I think I got her name right,
Yeah.
loves you enough to give you her food.
Yeah, I'm
A tribute to her fucking.
I'm welcoming of it.
Is it a coven of cats? What's a group of cats?
I don't
know it's a
know.
pack of
A
dogs.
pack.
A pile.
I mean, a pile of cats.
A pile of
Because
cats,
cats aren't
nice.
really, they're loners. They're
Yeah,
hard. They're all James
exactly.
Dean, and they
Yeah.
know it.
No,
Yeah.
for sure. Thank y'all for joining us, Cryptonaut Podcast. Oh, if you want to support us, check us out on the Patreon.
Please do.
Patreon.com/Cryptonaut Podcast. We appreciate all the support we're getting over there. We have some merch available at the old hellerspace.com. You can go over to get your stuff. We're available on the social medias, the Instas and the Twitters and the Facebook. Follow us there. We post up all the, when we put episodes out, we just put up a couple pictures of the studio randomly, a couple pictures of me and Chris on the couch fucking around with
That was
video
funny.
stuff. It was pretty funny. It was super funny. So be sure to follow us there and do all of that. And, reviews are a thing, man. If you want to leave us some reviews in the old Apple iTunes stores, whatever the fuck it's called now, I can't keep track of it. It's always welcome, and we appreciate it. We just got a couple new ones that are pretty good, so that's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
And,
It's always fun to offsuit those 1-star diatribes.
Yeah, no, we got a bunch of recent ones that were really creative. Like, they were actually really cool.
God bless.
You have to look at them later on
I will.
Chartable. They're pretty cool. So thank you to everyone that does it. It helps the podcast. It's good for our rankings, and obviously Spotify, you can leave stars. It's so much easier than having to actually write something. But you can just leave a star, do whatever you got to do there. Appreciate that. So yeah, thank you all so very much for listening every week. We appreciate it so very much, and we're talking to you soon.
Fucking A right.
Out of here.
Yeah.
Peace.
Pet
Outta
your
here.
puppets.
Fucking out of here.
Live large. Do whatever you got to do. Just keep it real.
Well,
I don't even know. Well, I mean, what do you mean? I mean, what you got to do is sometimes a tough thing, but if you got to do it, you got to do it.
Nah.
No, I'm not going to take it back.
Nah.
No,
you
I
don't have
stand
to. You do whatever you got to do.
No.
I'm going to be not in jail and enjoy pizza.
Jesus Christ! Why did you assume it was criminal?
No,
right out the
shut
gate?
it off.
Jesus fucking
Start
Christ!
there.
Your fucking assumptions are
Yeah.
dark, sir.
That's the way he
Jeez
said, like,
Louise,
do
man.
what you got to do. Do whatever you got to do.
Next week, I really want to turn on a pod in time and not make you guys wait for a half hour. But
God.
no, now suddenly it's something like no. You do
Well,
what
that
you
was
gotta
specific
do.
and nice.
Yeah.
The master of time.
Kill
and
14 people,
space.
whatever you got to do.
See,
buddy.
he just said it.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. That's what.
no.
I'm Chris saying that. That's me
Dear,
doing an
dear,
impression of
dear
Chris.
FBI.
Yeah. I'm turning in my friend Rob for terrible
dear
things that he
FBI.
wasn't even thinking about.
Oh, Operation Mind Crime. We're talking to you.
Oh my God! Really? Queensryche?